Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm gonna walk you through a redesign I did for my character Noah. His design underwent a lot of changes and I wanted to show you guys the new design. I'm also going to be introducing some new characters within this superhero world, so if that interests you, definitely stay tuned. Some of these clips are from my stream I did, so if you find this video entertaining, check out my streams where I create the art behind the videos. Without further ado, let's jump right into the redesign. So this was Comet's old design. Boo. Literally Kakita drawing. But this is his old design. I mean, it's not a Kakita drawing. I really was fond of his design. I was a fan of his design and I really liked how his design looked at this time, but I knew within my core, that his design was not giving main character energy. And you kind of need that when you're designing a main character, you know what I mean? You gotta be able to look at the character and be like, this guy is a main character, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, something's gotta switch up, you know what I mean? Something's gotta change. And then I took Gabriel Quinn's masterclass for design. I'm like glazing him so much, but honestly, his classes there's something in the water in that environment, honestly. But I had some different color variations here with cyan and pink, you know, to go with that. I'm not even gonna talk about it. And then I had blue, red, and yellow, and then red and green, blue, purple, and green. And I thought the blue, purple, and green was pretty cool because purple and green are really iconic color combination, to be honest. Like, I don't know what it is about it, but literally every time I see a character with purple and green, it's like engraved in my memory or something like that. So I experimented with a orange hair because he has orange hair. Now he doesn't though, but that's okay because it's all in the best interest for the design. But I experimented with the orange hair. I liked it. I thought it was cool, you know, green and orange, a power combination. So then I started experimenting with different shades of purple to see what looks best with his energy. And then I decided this one looks best, but the colors seem to be a little bit saturated. Like if I were to print this out in a comic, which is what I plan to do, the colors won't look that good. So I had to change them. But even though the colors were still not like compatible with printers, so then I was like, you know what, I actually am gonna bring it back to when I did the second variation with the blue, red, and yellow, because those are primary colors, my dude. And like, you see primary colors on a character, that guy is a good guy, and he is the moment. Yeah, he is the main character. So then I saturated the blue and stuff like that, but the thing is, actually, all these colors are compatible as well. So that was a very big plus that I really liked. And I thought it was a really cool design. I really liked this little collar thing here, and his like main suit here is like a compression suit, like a running compression suit, so it makes sense with him being a speedster, and like how it overlaps with his cowl shape. And I feel like it has a really good mixture of practicality and also like good design. Like, he looks like a superhero, but his design feels still a little bit grounded, you know what I mean? So then I also wanted to add those capoeira influences and that I have talked about previously, and that is a fighting style, if you do not know, and it's a fighting style that involves kicking and stuff like that. But I didn't want to put him into some joggers, you know what I mean, because I really love the shape here, like this arrow shape. So then I got inspired by the design of Juri from Street Fighter, how she has kind of like those cut out pants, like jogger pants. So I applied it to his design and I really liked how they came out. And I added some Jordans because for the swag, you know what I mean? And I was also like, you know what, capoeira kind of looks like breakdancing, so it would be cool to like combine those elements together. So that's what I did, and I really like the look of it. So this is where I got really happy with it. But I also changed the shoulder pads here. because I think it directs the energy really well, because you have these lines going up here and this one too going up here, but then you had the shoulder pads just straight out, you know what I mean? So having the shoulder pads tilted up a little bit, you're directing that energy really nicely, and when you zoom out, he feels a lot more of a bigger person, which is good because he is a short guy. He is like 5'6" or something like that. So it's good to have those shoulder pads to make his silhouette feel more intense, you know? And it's cool because it also, these lines down here are directing the energy downwards, pointing your eyes towards the feet. So it's like you have this really cool direction of energy that flows from like the core of his design, which is really cool. I really liked it. While painting this character illustration, I was also testing out a new painting style I picked up recently. Since I didn't record this process while I was painting Comet's character illustration, I'll show you the process with how I painted another character, Bellator. I started by creating a basic shape with a round brush with pressure opacity to make the gesture, movement, and pose for the character. Then I go in and define the details of the body and form with a smaller pressure sensitive round brush that also has the same opacity qualities as the round brush I used before. This creates a really loose sketch while focusing only on the details that are important to the drawing, while also keeping the energy and fluidity of the gesture. Then I go and paint on top of the sketch the skin color and clothing with the same brush I'm using to define the form. Since this brush has some transparency to it, I'm still able to see the form beneath the clothes so that I'm not lost while I'm painting it. This also gives the illustration a really fun underpainting type of look where the colors feel alive and harmonious. From here, I start cleaning up the different silhouettes of the clothing and tightening up the edges. All the painting is done on one layer with very minimal brush effects. About 90% of the rendering, maybe 95%, was done simply by choosing different shadow colors. Previously, I would sketch out the body and clothes, then line art on top, and place the colors beneath the line art, and render in the shadows with a multiply layer in one color for all the elements of the design. I'm not saying that this process is bad by any means, but personally, I was realizing that this process was starting to weaken a lot of the energy within my character illustrations. In my art, I really like painting in textures and materials. With my previous process, I was focusing a lot on the line art of the piece, and because of this, I didn't really have room to paint in the materials and textures. But with this new painting style, I'm able to dive deep into the materials that make the painting feel alive while also working at a faster pace, with the energy staying consistent throughout the whole piece. Also, forcing myself to paint in shadows without a multiply layer makes me more intentional about the colors I use and helps restrain myself when I'm grouping my values. Having a really clear value grouping means that each element of the design feels clear and easy to read because the shadows and highlights are cohesive with their respective colors. For example, a yellow shirt would have a much lighter value grouping than a blue shirt because the value of yellow is a lighter value than blue, making the shadows of a yellow shirt brighter than the shadows of a blue shirt. I feel that with this painting style, I'm able to lay down ideas a lot quicker and bring them to a finished state a lot faster. Now that I showed you some techniques I'm trying out, let's talk about some new characters I created for this superhero world, including Bellator, which is the character I was painting within this segment. So then I went a little bit on a rampage and designed a whole bunch of like superhero villains, and that they're called the Black Mambas. They're what is this called? A mafia. They're like a whole bunch of martial arts fighters, and they do with like assassins and stuff like that. So I was just like designing these. I knew the only thing that I really had in mind was like, okay, so I'll play around with the snake theme, you know what I mean? I like the purples and reds and blacks, because personally, purple and red, a little bit of an evil color scheme, I'm not gonna lie, but that's just my opinion. So I was also inspired by the designs in Street Fighter. So some of these you can see that are very inspired by Street Fighter, but that's okay, honestly, because I like Street Fighter, these designs look like Street Fighter, and people that like Street Fighter will appreciate these designs, you know what I'm saying? So I came up with some really fun designs that I really liked, and I really liked how all of them had a unique gesture and a unique presence to them. My favorite ones are 10, I really love 6 and 4 and 3 and 8. Those are really like my favorites of the favorites, to be honest. I had a lot of fun drawing them. And then I was like, you know what? In the story, this girl, which was a member of the Black Mamba Mafia, Crimson Cobra, she has a little redemption moment in the story that I'm writing, and so she changes into a superhero. So I was like, you know what, let's upgrade her design to see how she would look like as a superhero. So then I came up with this pretty much of a glorified recolor, but I changed the hair, and I really love the shape, or like the silhouette of like the super cut hair, like at the jaw length, and how it's like held up by the neck and framed by the shoulders. I think that's a super appealing silhouette, and I really liked how it spoke to her character being more confident. And I really love the symbolism of cutting off hair as like cutting off old ties, you know what I mean? So here I developed the design more because there was just something about it that was not sitting right with me, or I was talking to my sister about the design and there was something about the design with her that wasn't sitting right. And so I was like, oh, that's so frustrating, but I totally understand, because this is the first rendition of it, you know what I mean? And the chances of me getting it the first try are very slim, like of a good design are very slim. So then I changed it to this one, and I really love how this design turned out. I think it's a very pretty design, and I feel like they look really well together. So yeah, and I also gave her some ice skates too, because she can like manipulate water and turn it into ice daggers. So I was like, you know what, let's just give her ice skates too, because why not? So then I was trying to design their home clothes. Her design came really easily. Her name is Bellator, which is the name for a warrior in Latin, which is so cool. But yeah, Bellator's design for her home outfit came really easy. And honestly, this is my favorite thing about designing superheroes, which is designing their house outfits. I find it so much fun because it's like you're just getting to know the character, and I love it so much. But I was trying to draw Comet's house outfit, but I kind of ate so hard with this pose. Like it just came out of my noggin, and I was like, you know what, and I just drew it down. So I was trying to do something like that for Comet, but it was just not coming out right. So I was like, you know what, let's take a break from that. I forgot to mention earlier that I changed Comet's emblem. Originally, it was a star to play into the space themes of the word Comet, but I felt that it didn't really align with his powers. I changed it to be an altered version of the yin and yang symbol to represent his powers over kinetic and potential energy control. I was inspired by the yin and yang emblem because of its symbolism representing opposite but complementary forces. I saw a parallel to this within kinetic and potential energy and how they are different within activity, while also being directly correlated within each other's functions as mechanical energy. The shapes also resembling the yin and yang logo ties in with his martial arts background, where he received most of his combat training and guidance before he became Comet. As I said earlier, I was having trouble with Comet's house design and his posing. But to be honest, with this new process I talked about earlier, I was able to come up with a pose I like and a design that felt authentic to his character and personality. This was the first concept of his house design with his new redesign. I liked how it incorporated the torso silhouette from the shoulder pads in his supersuit with the flared sleeveless shirt. It really represents his scruffy and messy personality traits. The compression shirt and pants beneath his clothing communicates his athleisure sense of style that was a cornerstone within his design from the first ever concepts of Comet's character. From here, I refined and stylized his body and added some embellishments to his design that further pushes his personality. To understand the developments I made, let's take a little look at Noah's backstory growing up. Noah Aldrick was raised by his mom as a single mother. She loved 80s music and played it whenever she could. This love for music rubbed off on Aldrick as he grew up, with his favorite artists being Journey and BCFC. When Noah moved out and started university, he continued his hobbies of music as a reminder of his mother. But because of his busy schedule, Noah's bad habits of being messy and slobby started resurfacing, a trait his mother tried so desperately to correct. Because of this, Noah is more than fine with wearing the same outfit multiple days in a row. given his faded, distressed BCFC rock shirt. To show Noah's personality in his design, I gave him some chains, headphones, and ear gauges to represent his love for rock music, and athleisure clothing that's versatile for peak practicality. I also gave him a black bandana that's inspired by his favorite rock artist. I really love the new design I gave to Noah Aldrick and his alter ego Comet, since it really speaks to the type of guy he is. I wanted to change his designs because I felt within my core that they did not communicate the idea of his character successfully. While some aspects stayed consistent between designs like his ear gauges, his old design felt a lot less masculine and iconic. What I mean by iconic is that the characters read are instantly recognizable with a quick glance, and for sure I did not feel that with his old design. But with these new redesigns, I feel as if Noah really came to light while also being faithful to his core and root. I'm really happy with these new designs, and I truly hope you guys are too. Thank you so much to everyone that tuned into the stream, and thank you so much for watching the video. I'm so happy to answer any questions you guys have about my world, and it makes me so excited to know that you guys are excited and interested in my character Noah. I hope to see you all in my next stream. By the way, if you liked this type of candid and less edited video, definitely let me know by liking the video or leaving a comment below. Before I end the video, I wanted to share with you guys something that I read in the Bible because I feel like it has some pretty good wisdom and it's just something nice to think about, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. So here you go. It is in Colossians or Colossians, I don't really know how it's pronounced, but it is in Colossians. Right here, chapter 2, verse 20 through 23. So it says, "Since you died with Christ to the elemental spiritual forces of this world, why, as though you still belong to the world, do you submit to its rules? Do not handle, do not taste, do not touch. These rules, which have to do with things that are all destined to perish with use, are based on merely human commands and teachings. Such regulations indeed have an appearance of wisdom, with their self-imposed worship, their false humility, and their harsh treatment of the body, but they lack any value in restraining sensual indulgence." I read that and I was like, oh, bars, literal bars. But I was also reading another chapter today, and I saw a connection, a parallel between them that I also wanted to touch on, and it is in 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1 through verse 10. It says, "The Spirit clearly says that in later times some will abandon the faith and follow deceiving spirits and things taught by demons. Such teachings come through hypocritical liars, whose conscience has been seared as with a hot iron. They forbid people to marry and order them to abstain from certain foods which God created to be received with thanksgiving by those who believe and who know the truth. For everything God created is good, and nothing is to be rejected if it is received with thanksgiving, because it is consecrated by the word of God and prayer." And later on in the chapter, it says, "Have nothing to do with godless myths and old wives' tales. Rather, train yourself to be godly, for physical training is of some value, but godliness has value for all things, holding promise for both the present life and the life to come. This is a trustworthy saying that deserves full acceptance. That is why we labor and strive, because we have put our hope in the living God, who is the Savior of all people, and especially of those who believe." So I really thought those couple of verses were really powerful, because I feel like, especially nowadays with all these movies coming out and stuff like that, a lot of them have very earthly messages and themes in them, and they're very about the times and very of this world and very secular. And I just wanted to make a little saying of what I've learned throughout my journey with Jesus Christ and what I've learned in the Bible, and how so many people put their value in the guidance and wisdom of this world and in secular things and in material things, and that wisdom from this world does not teach people the correct way to really treat themselves and to really know themselves. And the Bible very clearly states very good wisdom that lasts for eternity. So it was just a good reminder of to really make sure that you are being very aware of where you're seeking your wisdom, of where you're seeking your guidance, because you do not want secular guidance to lead you into something that is not good and not for you. Seeking God's guidance with Jesus Christ, through Jesus Christ, is truly eternal, because those passages are thousands of years old, but they still hold so true to these days and these times that it is truly a testament of how his word is eternal. And I just wanted to say that there because I really love Jesus Christ. I love God so much, and I want to make sure that you guys know that, and to know that you guys are in a safe environment here that is just full of love, Christ love.